We want to welcome today a 2018 Prolific Prep graduate, Jeenathan Williams, who hails from Rochester, New York, in the inner city of Rochester. And Jeenathan, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. Greatly. How you doing?
Good, very good.
Jeenathan came to us as a senior transfer. When you see Jeenathan for a few minutes on the court, you're like, wow, here's an athlete that that can really play. Heading into your senior year, finishing that summer AAU, and kind of what are some of the things that were going through your mind as you were trying to make a decision? What was potentially best for you?
Right. First it was just me, you know, getting out of the situation I was in, in my senior year. So like getting out of Rochester, so I don't make like a mistake or uh like do anything dumb to jeopardize what I had good going for myself. And then secondly, it was just competition. I wanted to play better competition
Hmm.
as far as high school players and boost myself in the rankings, which I did at Prolific. And Prolific was, national schedule. We played great teams every night. So it gave me the platform to do that.
Yeah, and the competition. What people don't realize, a lot of your teammates and people I've spoken to, they talk about the competition at practice because we have about 150 practices a year, right? We have more practices than a
Yeah,
regular high school.
right. Loved it. Practice was great because you don't only get better playing with other players, but it's just a lot of development as far as like shooting and just getting better skills. But like as far as like competing, getting up and down, it was a blast, Some crazy days in there.
You're in the 2018 class, Jeenathan. You were probably one of the 3 or 4 most athletic guys in the entire country,
Yeah.
bar none, one of the most athletic players out there. And potentially, you know, coaches may put really athletic players around the rim or in the dunker spot or the 5 and 4. But here you walk in the gym, we got Onyenyechi Aisi, 6'10", 7'3"
Right.
wingspan.
Amadou,
Amadou So,
six
6'9",
nine, yeah,
235. Jordan Brown,
6'11.
6'11". Um, Oton Yankovic was probably 6'9".
Right.
Um, there was just a lot of size,
Yeah.
which probably allowed you to play your true position,
True
which is,
position. Right.
on the wing, a 3-2, 2-3,
Hmm.
mismatch 4 sometimes because the NBA is trending to, smaller, quicker, more athletic guys. Talk to us a little bit about, at least being able to play the position you were going to play in college.
Oh, it helped because when I got to college, it just easily translated. Like I already knew what I was programmed to do with Coach Billy's system at the time. It was easy for me to just easily adjust into the way Buffalo played. The transition was way smoother. I feel like, especially coming up in my freshman year to the team we had, which was a top
Lo-
15 team in the country. So
Loaded,
it, it was
loaded.
it was easily to just fit in.
You had high major offers,
Hmm.
um, but you wanted to go to a program where potentially you would get the opportunity to start maybe 2 or 3 years in your career, and
Yeah.
that playing time can set you down the road. So you made a couple choices. Senior year, transferring, you know, trying to push yourself, trying to become better, knowing that in college you better be ready in the transition period. It's going to be challenging.
Right. Yeah, that was tough. That was very tough because like as a, 18-year-old, it's tough to make decisions like that. And also I had my family behind me, but it was like all in my hands at this particular time. But when we got the call that, I can go to Prolific, my mom, it was just like it was a no-brainer. Like no brainer. I had to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing her at
Perfect
graduation with a big,
setup.
yeah, seeing her at graduation with a big smile on her face was huge.
Mhm.
Um, Talk to us a little bit about, at Prolific, most of the players are housed with host families. Really unique. Here we
Mhm.
got Jeenathan Williams, from the inner city of Rochester. Great parents, great AAU program.
Right.
but still you're going from inner city Rochester to Napa, like wineries and the Bay Area, the
Hmm.
weather. I mean, there's a whole lot of things you're dealing with. I mean, you're dealing with adjustment for basketball right away on the court. You're dealing with you're going from a public school to a private school at Napa Christian with
Right.
Justine. So you had to deal with a couple of things in transition. And so how was it, in terms of before, uh, before having a host family, like not really knowing how that was, and then going through it, and then now looking back at potentially the value.
Hmm. First, I mean, I was nervous, nervous of how they would think of me, would they like me or something like that. But then when I first got there, like they just showed instant love. It was just straight support from the beginning to the end. Even now, like I still contact with them every day. They text me, they watch all my games. Just been constant support and love. Like I actually feel like they're a part of my family and my life. And I can say they feel the same, and like that's what how it grew over time. But like at first for me it was tough because I was like nervous and stuff of
Yeah.
like going into a household and respecting new rules, because like when you've been living with somebody for this amount of years, like you just have like a plan like in your head of how you gonna live every day. So it's like it was just adjusting, and then like it benefited to be very very helpful, and it became a lifelong relationship.
Yeah. I mean, last summer I'm driving through Napa, sneaking a peek in the Napa Christian gym, and I mean, I see you in the gym, and I'm like, well, what are you doing here? What's up, Jeenathan? And the power of a host family, like you'll contact them almost before your coaching staff because they're almost part of like your extended
Right,
family, and you
right,
actually look forward to going and seeing them, and they only want to see you safe and happy. The Shoe
right.
family, man, you know, ah, just real people, coaches. They like
Good people.
sports. Their younger son looks up to you, um, almost like an older brother. And that's one thing I remember your senior year, how much he looked forward to seeing you, he looked up to you. And I mean, in a couple days, I mean, you told me yesterday, right? In a couple days, you're on a
Yeah.
you're on a
And
plane
tomorrow.
to, tomorrow, and
Yeah.
you're coming back to Cali,
Hmm.
and you're going to spend 2, 3, 4 weeks here in Napa with your host family.
Yes, yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very unique. And then transitioning from inner city Rochester, public school, you're a bright kid, and then transferring to our private school, Napa Christian, with Justine, Miss P. Talk a little
Mm.
bit about how much they mean to you, and what they did specifically for you as a student.
They helped me be myself. That's why I love them, and I truly respect them. They helped me be myself because like going in, for me it was tough. I wasn't like a genius. I'm not that like I'm not the best student. So it just was like they figured out a way for me to like be successful in the classroom and get um eligible to play in college, because that was big for me because I was, on the border of being eligible. So they helped me big time, just figuring out ways for me to understand the stuff that I had to do, or the classes I had to take, and they just knocked it out with me. They never let me like give up, and that was big. That support, like I said, that support cast that we had in Prolific was very, very, very helpful, very helpful.
And I remember walking into Miss P's class, and you're taking your test, and you got your headphones on, and
Mhm,
Justine, our school principal, and Miss P figured out in the first 3 or 4 weeks the best way you learned, and
mhm,
and how to calm your nerves during tests, and how music relaxed you, and
mhm.
how music was your zen, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if it was about like ego or rigid system, or no, you got to do it this way, then I don't know if
Mhm.
I don't know if people that have unique learning skills would be successful if everyone learned the same way. I
Same way, right?
Miss P explained to me, she's like, Jeenathan is so bright. When he's calm, the music calms him, and he does everything on the board, like you were taking your test on the board.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before. That was unbelievable. And I don't know how Justine and Miss P figured out. I think through trial and error, maybe, right?
Yeah.
And and talk to us a little bit about Miss P and your relationship with her, the math teacher, and
Mm,
kind of, I
yeah.
spoke to her a couple of weeks ago about you. I'll let you know what she says after you answer.
Yeah, Miss P very, very, very helpful to me, and I appreciate her as well. She gave me the opportunity to take my test in the way that I wanted to, and let me, she broke everything down for me just so I can learn it, like just so I can get it and have it in my head. And once with her, it wasn't even like the work was super hard. Like she made it so easy for me that it was like it just became natural. Like, I didn't even know I knew I was that good at math until like she helped me and just like you said, like figured out the way that I was a successful learner. And that really, really helped me even now as a college student, like that even translated. So I really love that and I appreciate it.
Yeah, Miss P was telling me the other day, she's like, Coach Phil, there were certain Sunday sessions where me and Jeenathan would go 2 to 5 hours and knock out so much work because when Jeenathan was in game mode for basketball, he was in game mode for basketball. And when he was in game mode for math with no distractions, she said you were so laser focused that you can actually do a couple weeks of work in like 5 to 6 hours because you had an ability to work. She explained this to
Yeah.
me 2 weeks ago, and I was really surprised.
Yeah, that was like how I got all my work done. I just, cause I like some days I just be zoned out and I can't do it. Like it'd just be hard. Like
Yeah.
my mind won't let me focus. So we'll have a Sunday session, and those Sunday sessions I really took that and just like try to do like 2, 3 weeks work. So that I'd be like, Miss Pika, I just knock out all this, and she'd be like, yeah, go ahead, and we just go over it, and then like so when the class come, I just be sitting there and just watching, like, cause I done did all the work already. So that was big too. That was real big. Cause I never had no teacher that let me do work ahead like that.
So as your year progressed, you got better and better, probably because you got more comfortable. And
Yeah, yeah.
part of being comfortable is first being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, you're uncomfortable in a couple things. Inner city Rochester coming to nap, right? Um, always being relied on to play and score a whole bunch of different ways, right? And then,
yeah.
then come into a system where you got a McDonald's All-American. You have 5 to 7 bigs, 6'9" or bigger. You have,
Right.
you have combo guards and point guard, all these different things. And then also going from a public school to a private school, trying to learn. And then you have Justine. So man, there was a lot of adjustment that you had to
The
do
adjustments. Yeah.
in 9 months.
Quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. And not, and now fast forward 2 years later, um, you know, you had a remarkable sophomore year. You
Right.
know, your first year at University of Buffalo, your team was so talented. So it
Right.
was probably the hardest time in your career where you're like, I want to help my team.
Mm-hmm.
You could only really help in spurts because you guys were loaded. I mean,
Loaded. Yeah.
in the NCAA tournament, who did you guys? Would you guys beat Arizona or what? I can't remember your freshman year.
Yeah. Beat Arizona State. Arizona State. Yeah. And then
Gotcha.
we lost to Texas Tech.
Lost to Texas Tech. Gotcha. So you guys, yeah. So yeah. So talk about, okay, now you're a sophomore, finishing up, and you're going into your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to tell the old Jeenathan Williams the summer after your junior year playing in the EYBL, any advice for Jeenathan, or looking back, some of the things that, that you were lucky or fortunate to experience, or what were some of the things that made you the person you are today?
Honestly, I would tell him the just focus on embracing being uncomfortable,
Oh,
because like it's gonna be like it's a process with this basketball stuff. Which life, it's a process.
yeah,
So, cause like that's what I figured out through all this. It's not, and everybody path is different. Like some people they might get it right away.
yeah.
Some people might, but it's a lot of players where it took them to their senior year and now they this good. Like it's just a process. That's what I would tell them. Just enjoy the process.
As you, get ready for your junior year, I've spoken to your head coach. Um, Unbelievable year last year. You're doing well academically.
Yeah.
I think some of the things that you were doing your senior year with Justine and Miss P, I heard you're continuing some of the kind of similar,
Yeah.
similar study habits. I've heard
Right.
your study habits have been similar.
Yeah.
Is that
It has.
and so
Yeah. I have
how's that been?
our academic advisor. She's very understanding of the way I learn. So we still do the music and taking the test and writing things out. All those little things. I told her like the formula when I was coming in as a freshman, and we just kept it going.
That's really good to hear. Wrapping up here, a couple things. Um, have you had the chance to sneak a peek at, like, one of the episodes of the overtime show?
Yeah, yeah.
So they
I have.
filmed this past year. Quick thoughts off the top of your head. Bring back memories, or what?
It's yeah, it do bring back memories, like on the bus, things like that, practice, halftime talks. Like it do bring back memories. I love it. It's real exciting to watch, seeing those younger guys, especially Namari. That's like my little brother. You know, seeing him do his thing and them what they putting on for the team. It's always nice to see.
Yeah,
Love it.
Namari Burnett was a sophomore, and
Mhm.
you were a senior. Young
Yep.
cat from Chicago. 3.8 student.
Mhm.
He finished
Tough
his
guy.
senior year as a McDonald's All American.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
imagine that, the work and grind. I mean, from afar, you must be proud.
Yeah, for sure.
You call him your younger brother. Similar. You're from Rochester. He's from Chicago. And coming out to Napa, um,
Right.
and then you see him on this little reality TV show, kind of. It brings back memories. It was also due to some of your guys' success.
Right.
Yeah,
But I love it. I love it. It's just so exciting to see. So exciting to see.
yeah.
I love it.
Maybe Buffalo can play Texas Tech. Maybe we got to schedule a little home and home action. Yeah, maybe a little home and home, and that extra little muscle you have being 2 years older, where might do you some good against them. But well, Jeenathan, we appreciate the time that you took today with us. We're going to see you shortly, because
Yeah,
you're
for
jumping
sure.
on a plane tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you. Glad you had just a great year this past year. Um, I text your mom the other day. She got a new phone, so
Mhm.
she's like,
Yeah.
who's this? I was like, it's Coach D, and she just, like, she's texted me 25 times, thank you, and I said, no, thank you for allowing us to have Jeenathan in
Yeah.
our program, because we affected him, but he affected us a lot more than he even thinks. And Justine and Miss P and Coach Billy and some of your teammates. I've spoken to a couple of your teammates, and you guys had a special group. So thank you for spending this time today with us, and we wish you success here in the short future, and your success. You earn all your success, and your future's bright. You just gotta, you're a grinder, you're a worker, so that's not going to change. And if your habits stay consistent, you're probably going to be happy with your results.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem, Jeenathan. Well, we'll see you in a few days. Give a big
Yes,
high
sir.
five to the shoes. And I'm sure they're looking forward to picking. What airport you landed in?
San Fran.
San Fran. There you go. Well, the next step is maybe in a couple of years, little private jet right to the Napa airport, you know, and then straight to the shoes. But all right, we'll have a safe flight, Jeenathan.
Yep.
If there's not that many people in the flight, maybe use your charm to maybe get bumped up to first class. And no one's sitting in first class, you know, just let them know who you are. You're from Rochester, you know, who played the Albany City Rocks, and you know, drop Namari's name. You might get a little cachet to get bumped in first class.
Crazy,
Uh,
man.
all right, we'll see you, Jeenathan. Thanks again.
All right.
Bye
Yep.
bye.